Hello, and welcome to the first installment of the Hyde Park Youth Symphony's Winter Concert Cycle presentation. Among much else, the past 12 months at HPYS have offered many opportunities for creative thinking and new experiences, both in our rehearsals and in our performance events. I was just reminiscing about how every concert cycle since the start of 2020 has gone a bit differently. From our well-attended in-person Between the Lines performance in the Logan Center last March, to our entirely remotely recorded virtual orchestra project last May, to a speedily prepared recording session in November right before Illinois required us to return to remote rehearsals, and finally to the performance series at hand. Because of different timelines among our many performing ensembles this spring, we're happy to present not one but 3 virtual shows for you, each brief episode being premiered on a Saturday evening at 6 p.m. This week, I'm very excited to be introducing the 2 groups that I conduct, Preparatory Strings and String Orchestra. Next week, we'll feature the students in our growing chamber music program, and our youth symphony group will wrap up the series on Saturday, April 17th. Before presenting each group, I wanted to offer some general context on what everyone has been working on this term. With a concert cycle that began with Zoom and some uncertainty about when we would return to 3-dimensional rehearsals, I saw this as a chance to focus in on the most fundamental type of musical ensemble playing, 2 interconnected lines, duets. These duets offered both prep strings and string orchestra an opportunity to read from scores, to learn some music theory, the different types and roles of intervals primarily, and it gave us a chance to really listen to the different ways parts can work together. Are they in rhythmic unison, for instance? Or do the parts align in different ways, movement and stasis, syncopation, subdivision? I'll offer a few brief notes on Prep Strings 2 pieces in a moment, but first, let's hear the first selection from them. Enjoy. You just heard Prep Strings play a 19th century parlor song called The Boy with Axles in His Hands. It was originally written by the pianist and composer Thomas Wiggins, who I happen to have studied quite a bit as a music historian. Known by most as Blind Tom, Wiggins was born into slavery in Georgia in 1849. He was born blind, and he was neuroatypical. Many think he was what we might call an autistic savant today. He toured around the United States and abroad, starting at around age 6, and he wrote hundreds of pieces during his lifetime. I could go on and on about Blind Tom, but I won't for now. Suffice to say that our song, which tells a story about a boy who walks around carrying axles in his hands, is thought to be a bit autobiographical, and it offers a great opportunity to think about hook bows, steady pulses, and the different harmonic ways a musical phrase can end. Afterwards, you'll hear an arrangement of Gustav Holst's In the Bleak Midwinter. And though the flowers are poking through the ground now in Chicago, when I assigned this piece, it felt quite appropriate. Among other things, we worked on cultivating the long lines and frigid moods that the song describes, relishing the calm, unhurried ends of each of the song's lines. Congratulations on a beautiful concert, Prep Strings, and enjoy. Now you'll hear 2 duets from our string orchestra group. The first one, written by the Afro-Cuban composer Amadeo Roldan, is entitled Canción de Cuna del Niño Negro, which translates to Lullaby for a Black Child. The piece is eerily beautiful, with the accompaniment part oscillating between the notes of a diminished fifth, or a tritone, an interval we talked quite a lot about in rehearsal. And the rhythm is never quite as on the nose as one might expect, which offered us opportunities to talk about Western European music's rhythmic tendencies versus music, classical and otherwise, from other regions and musical cultures. The second piece, an arrangement that is entitled Can Can, takes the music from composer Jacques Offenbach's 1858 comic opera Orpheus in the Underworld. While this tune is often called the Can Can, it was originally the infernal gallop appearing in the final act of the operetta. The melody exploded in popularity when it was adopted by the Moulin Rouge Cabaret in Paris to accompany their Can Can stage dance, which was the high-energy, high-kicking show with which the music is now associated. In addition to meditating on intervals and playing with comfort and flair in the several key centers in this arrangement, we worked to transmit this high energy and excitement in our rendition of the piece. I'm especially proud of the dynamics that everyone achieved in Can Can. Congratulations, String Orchestra, and thanks everyone again for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.